Oh yes, this is Cody's number 14.
Okay,
Whenever you're ready.
so today I'm going to talk about VOCs and what they are, where they come from, and why we should care about them. VOC stands for volatile organic compounds. And when you paint, other than the pigment, you have like solvents, reducers, hardeners, things like that, and that's where these compounds come from. They are carcinogens, and they also are part of the greenhouse gases that we're trying to fight. And how much are released into the atmosphere each year? In the United States alone, per year, the US paint market is roughly 18 billion. By the time you crunch all the numbers, that comes out to being like 1 billion pounds of these VOCs being released into the atmosphere. And that's just in the US alone. Europe and Asia are way ahead of us. They consume quite a bit more. So how can we reduce this number? The way I'm going to talk about today is through paint application. The first technique is using compressed air in a paint gun. And that compressed air helps to atomize the paint, which helps it lay out onto whatever you're painting better. And with better coverage, you use less paint, which therefore uses less of these compounds. The second way is either with dip coating or flow coating. Dip coating is basically a part hanging off a conveyor belt, and you lower it into a tank of paint, bring it back out, and let it hang there and dry. Flow coating is the part is laying on a conveyor belt, and it passes through basically a waterfall of paint. Both of these methods have about the same amount of VOCs being released as the spray technique, but the problem with these is you have large tanks of paint, and they are like a giant fire risk, because these VOCs get out of the paint through evaporation. So when you paint, as the paint dries, they evaporate, turn into a gas, and that's how you either breathe them in and could possibly get cancer, or they go into the atmosphere. With these big tanks of paint, they also are evaporating these compounds, and this solvent-rich air above the tanks is very flammable. With the spray painting technique, you can get charcoal filters to put into your exhaust, like when you paint in a paint booth, say paint in a car or whatever. And these charcoal filters help catch those VOCs, which is a huge benefit. So in my opinion, the best way to paint anything these days is to use an air gun with compressed air to get that better efficiency, to end up using less paint and hopefully reduce the large amount of VOCs we're producing each year. Thank you.